We are on the road to WrestleMania, which means champions will start to fall. In this video, I take you through every single champion and who I think will beat them, and I will also give a runner-up of who I also believe could possibly beat each champion. Let's get into it. Starting off with the Women's Tag Team Championships. These ones are defended on almost every single show, it feels like, but I couldn't really come up with a great option to actually beat them, believe it or not, because it has to be believable enough, but at the same time, you know, they also wanted to kind of be a passing the torch type of moment, pass the titles to someone else, and this isn't really passing the titles, but at the same time, it makes sense. I think Nia Jax and Candice LeRae could possibly beat Bianca Belair and Naomi for the tag titles, and I don't know where this would be. This could possibly be between Elimination Chamber and the WrestleMania. It could be on a random Smackdown, and maybe they do it because the tour is coming up soon, the overseas tour, the European tour, it is coming up soon, so I could possibly see them doing that, giving the fans a show out in Europe, giving them a big match like this that could possibly dethrone the two champions. Into WrestleMania, I do not think Bianca Belair or Naomi are going to be tag title champions. I really do believe that they are going to have the belts taken off of them soon, and I think the best option to have beat them right now is probably Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. But I have another option, and that being Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross from the Wyatt Six. Assuming Alexa Bliss joins forces with the Wyatt Six once they finally return, I think this would be a really, really fun way of bringing Alexa Bliss back into the fold, and same thing with Nikki Cross. This, I think, is a really, really just fun way of, you know, incorporating the Wyatt Six again, because they've been gone for so long, because I think one of them is dealing with an injury outside the scenes, so maybe this is a great way to incorporate them back into the fold, you know? I mean, yes, Alexa Bliss is more of a main eventer than she is a tag team title holder, but at the same time, Bliss has been gone for over 2 years now. A great way to just get her back into the fold, allow her to kind of regain her confidence, allow her to just be with somebody else out there at the same time. Obviously, I don't think she needs it, because we saw this last Smackdown, she easily won the match, and she had a good match, you know, she was fine out there. But I mean, I really do believe that this could just be a good way of just incorporating her back into the mix. I don't know if this will happen or not. Obviously, we have yet to find out if she's really even going to be with the Wyatt Six. It has been hinted at, it has been rumored. We have no idea for sure, though. The fact that she came back with this persona, I would have to say she probably will be, but we'll never know. So we don't know until we see the Wyatt Six again, obviously. So until then, well, that's why I have Candice LeRae and Nia Jax beating them. But if it comes up, or these two start tagging together for coming up, don't be surprised if them two actually win with Alexa Bliss, and where she's the one who pins one of them. I don't think Bianca Belair will take the pin, because obviously they probably want her to look strong heading into Mania, so it probably will be Naomi, but you never know. Which is why this will be really, really fun if this match actually happens. More fun than the Nia Jax and Candice LeRae one. The only reason that one's ahead of this one is because that one's more likely than this one. Heading into the men's tag team division on SmackDown, we have the champions Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, and I think the Street Profits probably stand the best chance at actually dethroning them. Now, hear me out. I don't really think the Street Profits are in a great position to do so right now. Obviously, they just came back at the Rumble, and they basically caused chaos, and we haven't really seen them yet since then. I mean, they had a vignette promo on on SmackDown, but that was basically it. We didn't really see them on SmackDown outside of that vignette. So we'll have to see what they do with them when they come back, if they're going to present them actually strong and I mean, Pretty Deadly has a tag team match coming up soon. I think it's on this SmackDown if I'm not mistaken, but I have no idea. Either way, I definitely do believe that when that tag team match actually happens, I do believe the Street Profits are going to disrupt it again, and DIY is going to retain again, and they're finally going to get their match, and I think when that match happens, Street Profits are probably going to win it. I've been calling for them to win these tag titles for the longest time now. They deserve it out of everybody on that SmackDown division. that tag division. I really believe that. I really love these two together. They're so much fun to watch. Seriously, and their promo works pretty solid, you know? You don't get that out of a lot of people. I mean, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, they're not great promo workers. The Profits are. So give them this opportunity, man. They haven't had the tag titles in so long. Now is a great time to do it because there has been rumors about both of them being frustrated with. You know, this is a good way to cheer both of them up a little bit and boost that like pride of theirs. You know, they don't have a lot going for them right now, so it's like give them this opportunity. People have been wanting Montez Ford to go solo, and sometimes same thing with Angelo Dawkins. I mean, they have not pulled the trigger on that, so maybe having them win the tag titles together will just give them some relevancy again, because they've lost a lot of it. And now it pains me to actually say this, but I really do believe that Pretty Deadly probably stands the second best chance at actually beating DIY, because they want to give it to two jamokes that probably don't deserve the actual opportunity to win the titles, because we haven't really seen Pretty Deadly a lot, and I don't know, man. It's something about them. I'm not a huge fan of them, but at the same time, they are funny to watch. They are fun. I am not a huge fan of their gimmick, to be honest, because it's a little weird, but it is what it is. And I don't know. They have a guaranteed tag match coming up soon because they just beat the Profits this past SmackDown, or not Profits. They just beat DIY this past SmackDown, so we'll have to see where that goes, where that takes them. But I don't see them winning that match. I seriously believe the Profits are going to win that match, but I don't know. We always say that the tag division on SmackDown is really strong, which it is, and the Motor City Machine Guns just lost their opportunity. I don't see them getting one anytime soon. And then the Los Garza, I don't see them really beating them anytime soon either, because they're not really in the picture right now. Pretty Deadly's way more in the picture right now than Los Garza is, so I don't know. I just see Pretty Deadly possibly. This is a big possibility, and it's highly unlikely, so don't take this with a grain of salt. Take this as you will, but I really don't see them winning this, but I definitely see them having the second best chances of winning it. Street Profits, I have the best chance of winning right now. Now on to the much crappier men's tag team division, and that being on Monday Night Raw, with the champions being the War Raiders, Eric and Ivar. Yeah, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of these two at all. I don't really see the hype behind them. Obviously, this is just to give them like some relevancy again, and to kind of reward them for all the perseverance that they've had, the resiliency that they've had because of their injuries in the past. I get that part of it, and that's awesome for the both of them. I seriously do not take anything away from either one of them for what they have gone through, but oh my goodness, they're not entertaining in the slightest. I mean, it's really weird what both of them can do in the ring. I'm not saying it's bad what they can do in the ring, because obviously it's really like insane what they can do, having freaking Ivar do some cartwheels, like wow. But yeah, I don't know. The men's tag team division on Raw is in a rough spot right now, I gotta be honest. SmackDown needs to like give some of their or something, because it's like there is not many options. When I was going through the options, there is just not many options. People from Judgment Day, JD is out for a while, Dom is busy, Finn is busy, Carlito obviously is Carlito, but Judgment Day is out of the picture right now. They don't have anyone really gunning for the tag titles. I think the only ones right now really gunning for the tag titles are the Creed brothers, and they're trying to set up a solid feud for them, so I am assuming that they're going to give it to the Creed brothers. Creed brothers just stood tall over them this past Monday Night Raw. They got themselves disqualified, but I don't know. Once Chad Gable comes back, I definitely could see them winning these tag titles. And as I said, the tag division is in a rough spot, and so I definitely, the only other option out there I gotta say is probably New Day, but that is still another just option. It's so blah, I don't even know. I mean, at first I was kind of saying that they when they turned heel, which that happened almost 2 months ago now. They have literally lost all that momentum from turning heel, that I don't even think giving them the tag titles now is going to help them. I don't really know what they were doing about that. Seriously, I gotta be honest, I don't know what they were doing. The New Day's momentum is completely gone. They didn't even capitalize on the heel heat that they got from betraying Big E, and I don't even know what they are doing with them now, because it's like, it feels like nothing. It feels like they're not doing anything with the New Day, and I don't know why. They had a really good heel turn, but now it's like they got nothing going for them. Now, I don't really think winning the tag titles now is going to benefit them, but honest to God, they're the only other option on Monday Night Raw right now. The other options would be the LWO guys, who we barely see nowadays. I mean, the only times we see them is when they're with Ray, or Dragon Lee for that matter, so maybe they have one of them winning the tag titles, but I don't even see that. That's why at first I had AOP winning, Authors of Pain, but they just got released. So now it's like, obviously not them. So, I don't know. I think AOP would have taken New Day's spot right here if they were still in here, because Paul Ellering could have been a great guy for them to just be their manager and talk for them, but nope, we're not doing that. And even Karrion Kross could be their manager. I don't even know, but now it's like they don't have it. So, I don't know. New Day is probably the second best option out there, and I guess that's what we're going to go with. Now, with the women's US title, the champion being Chelsea Green, I think having Alexa Bliss being the one to dethrone her is the perfect option here, because putting Alexa Bliss right into the main event is probably not a good idea. It allows Alexa Bliss to kind of get her mojo going, get her back in her groove. She hasn't been seen on WWE TV years now. Yeah, it's been since 2023 that was the last time she was seen, and that was literally over 2 years ago now. And people need to be reminded of who she is, what she can do, and I think the best way to do that is give her a title and make her bring some prominence to the women's US title. Now, I'm not saying Chelsea Green has done a bad job. She definitely has not. She's done a pretty good job, but I think more eyes will be on the title if Alexa Bliss actually wins it. And I really believe that this is a great way of getting her back into the scene. I'm not saying she should stay in the mid-card forever. Hell no. But it allows her to get her momentum going again, and I think this definitely will bring some promise to the mid-card, because having someone like someone else beat Alexa Bliss if she wins it from Chelsea Green, it'll put someone else over, and I definitely think that's a great idea, because then it allows Bliss to go back to the main event where she belongs. I think we can all Bliss belongs in the main event, but I don't know about right now. So right now, the main event picture is looking like Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton, and that is busy right now. I'm assuming Charlotte's gonna pick Tiffany. I would not be surprised, but that's why I think giving Alexa Bliss the mid-card championship, and that being the US title, I really do believe that this should be where they go. I think this should be the person that they have dethrone Chelsea Green. I don't know when it'll happen, but I really do believe that this is the right option. Now, this one might surprise a lot of you, but I think having Jade Cargill win the US title is also another very good option. Again, this is someone else who's probably going to be in the main event picture, but I say don't rush it, because Jade Cargill is in her early 30s. She has a long career ahead of her. I think she has many world titles ahead of her as well. Putting her straight into the main event picture is probably not a good idea. It'll probably overwhelm the hell out of her. Allow her to be on a singles run for a little bit and give her the US title. I think this is a great way to get her confidence going, get her mojo going, get the understanding of what being solo is like, you know? God, I cannot speak today. It really is just good for Jade Cargill to kind of just get an understanding of what the solo field is like, because Bianca Belair won't be with her anymore, and maybe turning Jade heel, I don't know. Maybe it's a good idea, maybe it's not. I have no idea, but I definitely do believe that maybe having Jade start off in the mid-card like Alexa Bliss, because obviously there's a lot going on in the main event right now that they need something for Jade to do when she comes back, and I'm assuming Jade will be coming back soon. I have no idea when, but when she does return, I do think putting her against Chelsea Green could be a good option, because I think these two could help bring some much needed attention to the mid-card, because it's like people want to watch both of them, Alexa Bliss and Jade Cargill. I'm not saying people don't want to watch Chelsea Green, but she doesn't have that oomph that both of them have, you know? It's like, I don't know. There's just something about Jade Cargill and Alexa Bliss that gets your attention going way more than Chelsea Green does. And it's not a knock against Chelsea, because I think Chelsea's done a phenomenal job so far. But honestly, I really do believe that these two could be the perfect number 1 and 2 to dethrone Chelsea Green. Now, walk with me here. I seriously believe giving Uncle Howdy the US title might be absolutely phenomenal in terms of giving him something to go with once he returns. Now, this might shock a ton of you, and honestly, it shocked me when I came up with this idea, because it's like, you know what? Why not? He needs something. It's obvious he's not going to be in the tag division, and it's obvious he's not going to be in the main event division. So, give him the mid-card. I think mid-card right now is where he's at. Give him the mid-card title. If you really want to put Uncle Howdy over hardcore, this is a great way to do it. Because, I mean, you're giving it to Shinsuke right now. What better option than Uncle Howdy? Because, yes, you could say LA Knight. You could say Carmelo Hayes, which we will get to him. I have him at number 2. But Carmelo Hayes at number 2. Andrade, you could say. Maybe even Damian Priest. I initially had Damian Priest as this guy, as the one to beat Shinsuke, but then I remembered that Priest is going to be pretty busy in the main event picture. So it's like, and it's a big drop down for Priest, going right back to the mid card after being in the world title picture for like over a year now. It wouldn't make much sense for it to be Priest. I think Uncle Howdy, once he returns, I think this is a good direction for them to go in. And as I said, Carmelo Hayes at number 2. I think Carmelo Hayes has put in absolutely phenomenal work this year. I think he's been one of the more underrated heels in the entire division this year. I think Carmelo Hayes has been one of the most underrated workers of this entire year. I definitely believe he deserves his opportunity. I mean, they gave it to Braun Breaker immediately. And honestly, I think Carmelo Hayes is a better talker than Braun Breaker. I think Carmelo Hayes might actually be a better worker than Braun Breaker. Carmelo Hayes makes everyone look good. Carmelo Hayes puts on a great match every single time he's in the ring. And, I mean, so does Braun Breaker, but I don't know, man. There's something about Carmelo Hayes and the way he sells for others that just does it for me. I am a big fan of people who can sell well for others, and Carmelo Hayes does just that. This is just for all the hard work he has done this past year. I really do believe that this is a great option for number 2. Now, this one might be surprising, it might not be, but I have heard rumors about Roxanne Perez possibly already being on Monday Night Raw soon. So, I think having her beat Lyra Valkyria will help bring so much attention to the IC title, because obviously they have not done really anything with it since Lyra has won. Lyra's win so far has been basically overshadowed by everything else. I mean, her run has been terrible, it feels like, because we barely see her. She's never defended it. She has not defended it since she's won. And she barely cuts any promos. She just had a chamber qualifying match against Bayley on this past Monday Night Raw, and she lost. The women's IC title holder lost. Wow, that's a great way to put over your mid-card. I mean, wow, dude. Even if it's not for the IC title, obviously, it was for the Elimination Chamber. I don't care, man. Bayley has just been in that part where she's just putting all the talent over right now. She's in that little mix like Becky Lynch was this past year, or last year, I want to say, where Becky Lynch was just in NXT putting over all the NXT talent. Kind of the same thing, man. It's kind of the same thing. They should have done that with Bayley. They're kind of doing that with Bayley, and Roxanne Perez has looked really good with it. And I think having her be the one to come up and beat Lyra might be a great way to kind of renew a little rivalry from before down in NXT, but at the same time make people interested in the IC title, because there is not a lot of interest in it because we barely see it. But now if they have Roxanne as the actual title holder, maybe there might be some more interest in it and maybe more attention. Now this number 2 is purely because of what happened in the Royal Rumble, and it's Ivy Nile dethroning Lyra Valkyria. I think American Made is gonna probably get a big push coming up here. I wouldn't be surprised because obviously they're starting something with the Creed brothers. And Ivy Niles already said multiple times to Lyra how she's coming for her championship. And it's not going to be it's not going to be like right now, but it's going to be in the foreseeable future. So, yes, it's a odd one, but at the same time, I think it's a good option because, I mean, right now, the only other option I gotta say would probably be Dakota Kai, but Kai lost the inaugural championship match, so that's why I don't really want to put Dakota Kai there. I don't know what they're gonna do with Dakota Kai right now. I mean, she just came back from injury, so probably not too much. So her momentum kind of got a little halted because of that injury. But I think Ivy Nile right now, they are a little bit. She did really well in the Rumble. She's one of the surprising people to do well in the Rumble. I was not expecting her to do as well as she did. She survived for a pretty good amount of time, and I think she had a few eliminations, so she did pretty good actually. And this might be a good sleeper pick for the person to dethrone Lyra Valkyria. Now on Monday Night Raw, I gotta be honest, I kind of hate the men's mid card because honestly, I don't want anyone in the mid card right now dethroning Braun Breaker. I don't really want Sheamus to dethrone him, but right now, there's no one better to dethrone him. Yes, he's probably gonna start something with AJ Styles, but I gotta be honest with you, I don't really want AJ Styles winning because I want AJ Styles in the main event picture, possibly winning the world title. You know, I think AJ needs to win another world title before he calls it a career. I really do believe that, and I think beating Jey Uso, once Jey Uso beats Gunther at WrestleMania, which I think we can all say is probably going to happen, AJ Styles deserves to be in the main event picture, which is why I think Sheamus is probably the best option to beat Braun Breaker right now. And I think this is going to be like a fatal 4-way triple threat match at WrestleMania, and that's where Braun Breaker finally loses the title. And I gotta say, I don't really think Braun Breaker's reign has been that good either. Monday Night Raw, even though I think it's a better show, God, they have some champions. Their mid-card is pretty terrible, I gotta be honest. And you wouldn't expect that with someone like Braun Breaker being your champion, but oh my God, it's like we barely see them. In my opinion, both mid-card titles should be defended every single week on Monday night. I really believe that the mid-card championship should be defended almost every single week, and we barely see either one of them. I mean, seriously, Braun Breaker's in the same spot Lyra is in, but at least Braun Breaker has defended it a few times. Granted, Lyra Valkyria just January, but at the same time, man, that was the beginning of January. And now, it was more mid-January, but we're in mid-February now, and she still hasn't defended it. It doesn't make any sense. Braun Breaker barely defends his, but when he does put on great matches, so there's that. And he's an okay talker where it's bearable for him to be the champion. I really do believe he should be champion, but oh my God, we are doing nothing with him, it feels like. And it feels like his little frustrations with Adam Pearce in the back are almost like real, because it really does feel like they aren't doing anything with him. I wish they would, because it's like he's a great talent, but they aren't doing anything with him. And unfortunately, I think he's going to lose this title at WrestleMania, but it might not be, unfortunately, because he actually might start the world title. Might start going for the world title after, kind of like Gunther did. But I don't know. I just think Sheamus is probably the best option. And yes, I know I just said that I don't want AJ Styles dethroning him, but I gotta be honest here. With the way they're going, I really do believe AJ Styles is probably the guy that they intend on possibly beating Braun Breaker. I mean, right now, I don't know. Ludwig Kaiser is the other one in this picture. I mean, maybe Penta gets in the picture, but I don't see Penta winning. You know, Braun Breaker is just more dominant than Penta, so I don't know. Again, I don't know. I really don't know what they're gonna do with it. I think AJ Styles is just another solid sleeper pick if you want to have him win. Again, I personally don't want to see him win because, again, I want to see him in the world title picture, but they might end up having him beat Braun Breaker at WrestleMania. I have no idea. Again, I hope it's Sheamus rather than AJ Styles, so that AJ Styles can do something in the world title picture, but either way, I really do believe that it should be Sheamus. I had Dom being the one to beat Braun Breaker over Sheamus, but then I just thought about it and I was like, you know what? Dom's not really in this picture right now, and Dom's nowhere near it. He's got other things going on. It doesn't make sense for him to be the one to defeat him. Yes, it's a fun pick, but at the same time, it's not going to happen anytime soon with the way they've been treating Dom. Dom's not even anywhere near it. Finn is nowhere near it. I mean, again, like, people you actually want to see defeat Braun Breaker are nowhere near the picture, which kind of sucks. I think Bianca Belair will probably win the Elimination Chamber. I would not be surprised. I think this is the route they are going in. Initially, people wanted this to be Io Sky, and initially I had Io Sky being the one to defeat Rhea, but then they ended up going a different route and having Rhea against Io the Monday after Elimination Chamber. Why? I have no idea. Why not just defend it at the Chamber, or why not just have this match at WrestleMania? But no. Instead, we have this match on just a basic Monday Night Raw. So, with that being said, I think Bianca Belair is probably the best option to dethrone her. And yes, that's me saying that I don't think Io Sky is going to win on a Monday Night Raw. Rhea Ripley is the most protected wrestler in all of the entire company outside of Cody Rhodes. So I just don't see them giving it to Io Sky like that. Just like that on a regular Monday Night Raw. It's so obvious Rhea is going to win. My fandom over her dropped immensely. I gotta be honest with you. I don't know what it is. Her presentation has just not been fun to watch, and honestly, I don't know why. When she was with the Judgment Day, but ever since she got kicked out, I mean, I don't know, man. It's just not been the same. She's not the same champion. She's not the same Rhea Ripley that everyone liked, and I think it's because she's not a heel anymore, and they need to do that. Make her a heel again. And in this feud, who's going to be the heel? Is it going to be Bianca or is it going to be Rhea? Because I don't think a two babyface thing like this, because both of them are mega over with the fans. One of them's got to turn heel. And I really do believe that the option's probably going to be Bianca, because right now they want to still run with Rhea being a face, which I don't think is a good idea. I really don't. I can already tell I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one. Please don't hate me for saying this, but out of everybody else in the Elimination Chamber, I think Liv Morgan might actually be the best option to win it, because of when all the work she did throughout this past year. She was easily the female superstar of the year, and she could easily be superstar of the year. I mean, I don't know what, it probably will be Cody, but it doesn't deserve to be. I really think Liv has worked her ass off this entire past year. I think she definitely deserves to be the superstar of the year, but I don't want to see this feud again. I really don't, but I just for some reason see them going this opportunity or this route. I really don't know. I'm flustered by this. I just don't. I don't want to see it again. I really don't. This is not a match people want to see again. I really don't want to see it. I don't know about all you. If you want to see this again, I don't know what the hell is wrong with you, but there's something wrong with you if you want to see this match again. This feud again. This feud is probably some of their worst work they've ever done combined. I mean, seriously. People want to say Liv Morgan carried it. If you want to say that, sure, go right for it. I don't think either one of them carried it. You know what? I'm going to be strong out there with this. Both of them did a terrible job at carrying this. But a lot of that has to do with the storyline, and a lot of it's not really their fault. It's kind of the storyline, the direction they went with. But the way I see it, I don't think either one of them really had a lot of say over where their character was going with this feud. And it was pretty obvious from the start. Gotta be honest with you, this is probably the biggest letdown feud of the entire year. This feud is probably the biggest bust that there has been in a long time, because this feud was shaping up to be the best feud of all time in the women's division, and it was god awful. Don't even know what went wrong. Don't even know where it went wrong, because actually I do know where it went wrong. It went wrong after SummerSlam. That's when it went wrong. But wow, I gotta be honest with you. This was a very lackluster feud. There was just not, I don't know. I mean, yes, the stakes were there, but they weren't at the same time. The biggest stakes were at SummerSlam. And after that, it felt like nothing else. I mean, just match. It didn't feel like it was that big of a thing anymore, even though they were trying to make it a big thing. Wow, I have so many thoughts on this feud, but I'm going to just keep moving on. Now onto the men's World Heavyweight Champion, being Gunther, and yes, I've already said it before, I think Jey Uso is going to beat him at WrestleMania. I would not be surprised. Jey has already declared he's going after Gunther at WrestleMania. That match is official now, and I don't see Gunther making it past Mania with the belt. I don't. Jey Uso's Yeet train is just at an all-time high right now. Yeet. But wow, I seriously, I don't see them, you know, doing the screw job they did with Bret Hart to Jey. I really don't see it. I don't see them doing that. But if they by chance do that, wow, that'll be the biggest screw job of this generation. Because talk about somebody who easily could be the male superstar of the year or just year. Jey Uso is that. Jey, without a doubt, had his best year of his career this past 2024, and it's because everybody, and I mean everybody, loved him. Now, I didn't love him, I gotta be honest. I wasn't a part of that Yeet train. I don't know what the hype behind him is, because it's just, in my opinion, I think it's just because everybody loves his song and everybody just loves the Yeet. I don't think people actually like him personally. I think it's more or less they like his song and they like what he does. But I don't know, man, take it from me, I've seen a lot of wrestlers before, and he's not the greatest wrestler in my opinion. I think Jimmy's better than him. Believe it or not, I think his own brother is a better wrestler than he is. Jimmy puts on a great match every single time he's in the ring. Jey does not. And if you want any proof of that, go back and watch the last few Smackdowns when Jimmy Uso's. All those matches have been really, really good. And yes, they have similar movesets, but I don't know what it is. Jimmy Uso, I think, sells better. I think Jimmy Uso just is a better worker in general. That's why I think Jimmy's better. And Jimmy's a better talker, in my opinion. All Jey does is says one word, and then he has the crowd say yeet back to him. It's like, that gets old eventually. And then having him open the last 3 shows, he opened Monday Night Raw, he opened Smackdown, and then he opened Monday Night Raw again. And then every single show they had him do the, let's do it again, let's do the yeet again. Like, stop. We don't want to see the yeet that many times. I'm sorry, I just don't want to see that many times. But out of everyone that there is right now who's been going against Gunther, I think Jey is by far his biggest threat right now. I think Randy Orton would have been his biggest threat, but that happened far too early in his reign that I did not believe Gunther was actually going to lose. Now, this one is only here because I could not come up with a number 2. And I think the best option is probably Seth Rollins. People would say it's CM Punk, but I have CM Punk going after Cody Rhodes. So I couldn't come up with a better option. I think Seth Rollins is probably the best option here. Honestly, I wanted to say Finn, but he's not a great option for this right now. The way they've presented Finn, he is not presented strong right now. And he's not going to be presented strong this coming Monday. I already know Seth is going to beat him, and it's going to be one of the saddest days out there for me. It's going to be a sad day for me. I got to be honest. Having Seth beat Finn again is going to just make me cry. I got to be honest. And if Finn wins, by some miracle, if Finn wins, he's going to win in some heel-esque way where he looks weak. Like Judgment Day comes out and helps him win, or someone screws Seth over and Finn's able to capitalize on it. It's not going to be a fair win for Finn. It's going to be one of those cheating victories by some chance wins. But I don't see that happening, and I see Seth winning. And unfortunately, I have no other option but to just put Seth at number 2. Seth is obviously nowhere near the picture right now, but he has been and hasn't been. You know, Gunther's come out and confronted him every so often, and Seth has said he's going to come back for his title eventually. So whenever that eventually is going to be, I don't think it's going to be going after Gunther. I think it's going to be going after Jey once Jey beats him. And again, this is only because I couldn't think of anyone else to beat Gunther. I think Jey is by far going to be the one to beat him, and I don't think there's anyone else even close right now to beat him. I think Jey is the guaranteed person to beat him. Her being the one to be the number 1 person to dethrone her. I'm not 100% sure if Tiffany is actually going to lose here, but there has been a lot of talks about Charlotte Flair getting a title almost immediately after she returns, And unfortunately, I think Tiffany is going to be the one to suffer the wrath of Charlotte Flair, unfortunately. So many people hate Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte's coming back as a heel because Charlotte does her best work as a heel, it seems, and she has done a really good job so far, but I don't really like what she's done about calling both Charlotte and Tiffany, what she's done with Tiffany and Rhea. My God, can't talk still. What she's done with Tiffany and Rhea, calling both of them a child. She said one was a kid and the other was a child. Same thing, Charlotte. They're the same thing. But either way, I gotta be honest, I think Charlotte's gonna probably win at WrestleMania. I think Charlotte's gonna pick Tiffany in the first place. I don't see Charlotte picking Rhea. And I don't see them gonna do the Julia route down in NXT. I think Charlotte's gonna beat Tiffany. But I think Tiffany is gonna come back around maybe SummerSlam and get her title back. They're probably going to give Charlotte a solid run throughout the summer with the title, and then Tiffany's going to come back and win, and Tiffany is going to be a mega uber face when that happens. And talk about somebody I really did not want to put here, but I had no other option to put here. I really did not want to put Naomi as the number 2 option to beat Tiffany, but oh my God, I couldn't think of anybody else. I really couldn't. Alexa Bliss, I have her going in the mid-card, so I don't see that happening. I initially had Liv Morgan possibly beating Tiffany, but the way things are shaping out right now, Liv Morgan's going to be nowhere near Tiffany, so it wouldn't make any sense. She's going to be way closer to Rhea than she's going to be to Tiffany, so it doesn't make any sense. Jade Cargill I had going after the mid-card as well, so I don't see Jade doing it. I could possibly see it if they really want to give Jade a huge push when she comes back, but if by chance Naomi does face Tiffany for that title, I swear to God, Tiffany better win. And yes, this is obviously a video about who should dethrone the champion, but I really don't think Naomi should dethrone her, but they're probably going to go that route. And unfortunately, they better not, but I had to pick somebody. It could have been Nia Jax. Tiffany faces Nia tomorrow night. God, I don't think Nia's going to win, obviously. I really don't see that happening. But then that's another reason why I didn't have Nia here, is that's just a little too repetitive for my liking. I also have Nia and Candice going after the tag titles and winning those tag titles, as you saw earlier in the video. So I really just don't see anyone else beating or being there to defeat Tiffany. And unfortunately, the only one I had, the last person kind of close to the main event picture, was Naomi with her. And now, last but not least, the men's WWE Championship, and the champion being Cody Rhodes, and I have John Cena winning his 17th title at WrestleMania, and finally beating that record, you know? I think everybody can agree. I think John Cena is by far the favorite to win the Elimination Chamber. He was the poster child going into it, and he was poster child going into freaking Royal Rumble for it. So that's kind of how I knew John Cena was not going to win the Royal Rumble. But I really do believe John Cena is probably the odds-on favorite to beat Cody Rhodes for that championship. I really believe it's probably going to happen. And if it doesn't by chance happen, it could easily be my number 2 guy, but I don't know, because that's been rumored, but we'll have to see with that. I think John Cena deserves his 17th title, obviously. It's John Cena, man. He's one of the best there's ever been, so when in the position to win their 17th title, to beat the record held between him and Ric Flair right now, I think is obviously amazing, and they should go with it. I mean, seriously, I really think this is a great option to beat Cody Rhodes. I mean, there's not gonna be another good option for a long time. I think right now he is the best option to beat him. But if they just keep presenting Cody as the strong ass champion, I'm gonna get really annoyed, because yes, he's a strong champion, but it's hard to explain. It's like they present him as a champion that just will never lose, kind of like a Roman Reigns, and we don't need another Roman right now, because there's only one Roman, and Cody is not Roman, so stop trying to make him out to be a Roman. And it's like, I really don't want to see that again, you know? The only time I'd want to see that again is if it was Roman, and it's not Roman. So leave Cena, just let Cena win it, seriously. Instead, I think the number 2 option being CM Punk, I think, could easily beat Cody Rhodes as well. This has been a rumored triple threat match. Like, earlier in the week, this started getting rumored out there that maybe Punk, Cody, and Cena will have a match at Mania. And I wouldn't be opposed to that match, honestly. I wouldn't be opposed to it. But at the same time, I think it's pretty safe to say I don't think Punk is going to win. But maybe they go that route. I have no idea. But again, Punk's been after just main eventing, and maybe this is the favor that Paul Heyman will give him. You know, Paul Heyman will finally grant his favor for him, and this is how Punk weasels his way into the main event. No idea if they do that route or if they go that route, you know, but I think it's better than a lot of options they've had with Punk. I don't think Punk, Roman, and Seth is a good option. I think that needs to just be between Roman and Seth, and please just go that route. Seriously, please just go that route. Let them two squash their beef finally. Putting CM Punk in there just doesn't make any sense in my opinion. This match actually makes a little bit more sense than the Roman and Seth one. And I just gotta say, I really don't think Punk needs to be involved in that. I really don't. I think that is something that has so much history behind it that the history speaks for itself. Punk should not be involved in that match. But putting him in this one, I could easily see them maybe giving it to Punk as well. I don't know. And maybe running it back or punking Cena at SummerSlam or something like that, you know, running back a big world title match for them, and, you know, let the 17th title be a quest for Cena to get. Maybe they don't want to give it to Cena right away. Maybe they don't. Maybe they give it to Punk. Either way, I could easily see them doing that as well, and that could be fun. Honestly, you know, like swerve the crowd. Let Cena lose maybe at WrestleMania. I have no idea. Swerve the crowd, because Cena has all year to win that 17th title, and he's going to be in that main event picture all year long. So he has all the time in the world title. Okay, well, I don't want to say all the time in the world, but he has a good majority of the year left, and he hasn't been at every single show like he said he was going to be. He said he had like 36 shows he's going to try to be at this year, and he's only been at 2 so far, 3 counting the Elimination Chamber. So that is 30 more shows for him to be at, and that's still a lot of time for him to actually win a world title. And maybe they go this route and have CM Punk actually win at WrestleMania. I wouldn't be opposed to it personally. And that concludes my list of people who I assume will dethrone every single champion. Obviously, this is probably not going to be right. A lot of these probably won't be right, but I have a feeling some of them probably will be right. Like the Jey Uso one, which I think everyone knows that's going to happen. But if they swerve us with that one, wow. Either way, I think my list is pretty solid. I would love to hear what you guys have to say down below in the comment section. Just feel free to comment, as I said before. You guys really don't comment anything, and I really would love to hear what you guys have to say about this, because obviously I'm not Jesus here. I don't know everything, so please let me know what you guys think, and until next time, see ya.